Imagine you're speaking to a potential client and you think everything is going great, and then they say they're not interested, or worse, they say that they don't believe you can help them with their problem. Stay tuned to discover what you're doing that's repelling your clients and what to do instead. Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15. So, what could you be unconsciously doing that is repelling your ideal clients? The first thing that you might be doing is a personal bias. It could be stereotyping, it could be preconceived thoughts that you have about certain people or certain groups of people. For instance, last weekend I was in Sedona with my son. And my son has long hair and he has a long goatee and he looks, let's say, a little bit hippie-ish, right? And my son has a very, very, very successful business. So while we was in Sedona, I noticed this Native American headdress, and it was so cool. It had like a coyote face, and it just had all the fur. It was super cool looking. And so my son, I showed it to him, and he goes, "Yeah, that is really cool." And he asked the salesperson, "Can I see that?" And she lifts it up like far away from him and sort of turns it around and says, "It's $900. It's $900." She never let my son touch it. She didn't even attempt to make a sale because I believe that she thought he didn't have the money. And I was thinking he could have bought 100 of those things if he wanted to, right? And it was very interesting for me to sit there and watch this interaction. So, what might you be doing for preconceived notions based on the way somebody looks, the way they dress, the way they talk? That could actually, your personal biases come in and you could be repelling them because you're thinking, oh, they're never going to buy. Oh, they can't afford my services. Or, oh, I don't like their accent. Or, they're from New York, so they must be this way. Or they're from Missouri, so they must be this way, right? So we have all these preconceived notions, which we need to wipe out of our head when we are speaking to potential clients. The second thing that you could be doing that's repelling your clients is projecting your own personal situation on them. If somebody offered you their program at the same price that you charge, would you be willing to whip out your credit card? Would you be willing and able to whip out your credit card and pay for it? If not, and if you're desperate thinking, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money, then you're projecting your situation onto them. And if you're sitting and thinking, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money, regardless what you say or how you're acting, you have this energy of desperation, like, please, please, please buy from me, please. And that's not going to help you or them. And this puts a mistrust in the client. Also, you really think about your own personal money situation. I have a good friend who is currently, she is I believe, multiple seven-figure business coach, but definitely a seven-figure business coach. And years ago, she coached for another coach for their high-end program. And she sold a lot of them, but every time she sold a program, it was always on a payment plan. So the coach asked her, could you afford to pay for my program? Or would you have to do it in payments? She goes, "Oh, I'd have to do payments, and that would even be a stretch, but I could probably make the payments work, but there's no way I could pay for it in full." And he told her, "You are projecting your situation onto your clients. So, whatever your situation is, before you meet, well, we'll talk about that in just a moment, but be careful of projecting your situation onto your clients." The third way that you may be repelling your ideal clients is just having lack of clarity, lack of focus. You need to know who you're looking for and what problem you're solving. And you need to be able to relay it to them to where they understand. It needs to be very, very clear. If you're having to explain everything, or you're explaining a low end benefit that they're going to get from your program and they're looking for the high end benefits, you've just lost a high end client. So you want high-end clients, you need to focus on your high-end clients' problems, and you need to speak to them as if they're a high-end client. So you need to be very clear on the benefits that you're offering, what you're selling, and also you need to focus on only one thing. If you're trying to sell them 3 or 4 different things at the same time, or you say, "Oh, you could be, you can choose this or this or this or this," they're going to say, "I want nothing," because they don't know which one to pick, and a confused mind never buys. So a lack of clarity goes both on your messaging and on what you're offering. You need to know the benefits. You need to know how to describe the benefits that's going to match the client's needs and wants. And you need to focus on only one program at a time, whether it be your personal one-on-one program or a group program. So again, the 3 things we do unconsciously that repel ideal clients is your personal bias. So really check yourself. What are you thinking about this person, and try to transform it into love. The second one, projecting your situation onto them. Remind yourself you have no idea what their situation is, and your job is just to show them what you have and then let them make a decision. The third situation is lack of clarity on your message, lack of clarity of what you are selling and how it's going to benefit them. So, talking about projecting for one moment more, there's a story. I'm not for sure if it's true or not. I've heard it several times, but it's based back in the Depression era. So, back in the 30s or early 40s, that there's a vacuum salesman who he goes and he pulls up to this house, and he sees the house is in disarray. It needs a whole lot of work. A whole bunch of kids playing outside with raggedy clothes and they're barefoot. And he's thinking, there's no way this family can ever afford this vacuum cleaner. But I'm going to go inside and I'm going to demonstrate this vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to clean their floor really, really, really good. So he goes in there and he even gives them an extra room and just really leaves them a really clean carpet. And he feels good because he has given a service and he's not asking for anything in return. So at the end of his demonstration, he packs everything up and he goes out to his car, and the father comes out to the salesman and says, "How dare you think you know how I want to spend my money, that you did not even give me the opportunity to purchase your vacuum cleaner." You never know somebody else's situation. So don't project your situation on other people. Don't project your personal biases on other people. Allow them to make the decision for themselves. I have known people who have spent their last dime on a coaching program that helped them get to 6 or 7 figures. And if you're projecting, "Oh, these people are poor, they can't afford it," you are repelling your high-end clients. It's all about your energy and what you're thinking as you're speaking to them. Okay, so those are the 3 ways that you could be repelling your ideal clients subconsciously. So let's go into what you should do instead. Number 1, meet your client where they're at. Speak their language and treat them like they are the most important person on earth. Listen to them, meet them where they're at, talk about their problems, their situation, their solutions. Talk about how you can help them with their solutions. And don't assume that you know something about them. Ask them qualifying questions. You want to understand exactly where they are. And as you're talking with them, mirror them. Repeat what they say so that they feel heard and understood. When you mirror other people and you repeat what they say, not word for word, but you repeat the way you understand it. So what you're saying is that you've had 30 one-on-one calls and nobody's purchased anything, and you're really struggling to understand why. Okay, so you're mirroring what they're telling you. That makes a person feel understood. It makes them feel valued, and it makes them trust you. We've all heard the saying that people need to know, like, and trust you to buy from you. But the most important factor is they need to trust you, because people can know and like you, but not trust you. And if they don't trust that you can solve their problem, then they will not buy your programs or services. The third thing you should be doing is focusing on one thing at a time. You want to focus on one program. You're focusing on one client. Even if you are selling a one-on-one coaching, you need to group it into a program. I believe at minimum 3 months, and I think the sweet spot is 6 months. So when you want to, whenever you have a one-on-one program and you're looking for these ideal clients, these high-end clients, you're focusing on that one program, even though it's one-on-one, instead of a whole bunch of different programs. This way, they feel more served and you're coming across with more clarity, and this is going to lead to more yeses. I will leave you with another few tips. When you are having sales calls with people, it's so important. Some people get huge transformations and huge aha moments just from a sales conversation. You're going to name your sales conversation because we're drawn to names. Nobody just wants a free consultation. But if you tell us the benefit of what we're going to get if we spend our time with you, that's how you're going to get them. But during the actual call, you need to meet them where they're at. You need to ask them questions. You need to listen to them. You need to give a couple tips, but do not coach them. Because actually, if you coach them during your sales conversation, you're doing them a disservice, because then they think their problem's been solved whenever it really hasn't. You have just put a Band-Aid on something that needs 20 stitches. So therefore, do not coach when you're doing these one-on-one sales calls. You want to have, ask them where they're at, where they want to go. The whole object of it is for you to discover where the gap is and how you can help them uncover that gap and go from where they are to where they want to be. So remember to meet them where they're at, to be where they're at, to speak their language, and to listen to them and mirror them. And you'll soon find yourself getting more and more yeses, because you're not repelling your ideal clients any longer. So remember to go to visibilitychecklist.com and download your free checklist for more visibility, influence, and profits. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again next week with another episode of Biz Success in 15. Big hugs. Bye-bye.